It's a very good evening for what is a monumental occasion here. Women's semi-finals, two of the heavyweights of women's tennis going head-to-head. First up here on Rod Laver Arena, it is, of course, Coco Gauff taking on last year's champion, Aryna Sabalenka.
Mixed women's singles semi-finals on Rod Laver Arena. Please welcome Coco Gauff. And their opponent, Aryna Sabalenka.
So last year's finalist, last year's champion, excuse me, Aryna Sabalenka taking on Coco Gauff in what promises to be a blockbuster. That's what everyone's been talking about all day here around Melbourne. Coco Gauff so famously won the US Open 4 months ago, where she did in fact defeat Aryna Sabalenka. And boy, this promises to be an absolute beauty. Alongside of me is Chanda Rubin. Chanda, a very good evening to you. And wow, can you believe this is a semi-final?
This feels more like a final. These are the two players who met in the last major final at the US Open. And you can imagine that this is the clash we have all been waiting for.
Ladies, welcome. A couple of reminders before we start. First of all, after the coin toss, can we please take a photo in that direction? Towel bins and shot clocks in the four corners. The red tape is for you. And the one with the blue tape inside is for you. Remember, friend-friendly policy. There will be a bit of movement, but I think you're used to it by now. Any questions? Madeleine told me she would like to ask you, Aryna. So, what do we have? AO it is, and go. AO. Serve. Thank you. And the photo, please. Yep. Fantastic, thank you. And this is yours, and if you can leave through there. Thank you.
So Aryna Sabalenka winning the toss, and you don't see it that often, but she has elected to serve first, which is a sign of confidence, and she's been in brilliant form.
And she has a terrific serve. That's a real weapon, Sabalenka does, as does Coco Gauff, and that's going to be the shot that may come into play more often in this matchup.
Well, Coco Gauff, what a 6 months it's been. It was stunning from post-Wimbledon, the run she went on. Currently ranked number 4 in the world, just 19 years of age, and success on the US hard courts, Chanda, with that huge win at the Australian Open.
It was an incredible summer for Coco Gauff, winning back-to-back titles, culminating with that US Open trophy, her first major. And for her, it felt like a long time coming. She talked about that, how all of the expectations, the desire, how motivated she was to win, it all came together at the US Open. This is her road to this semifinal match, and she's had a few road bumps. A tough set in the second round against Caroline Dolehide, and then of course her quarterfinal match against Marta Kostyuk, where Coco Gauff was down 5-1 in the first set and managed to turn that match around and win it in 3 sets.
Yeah, it was a battle. and just showed her mental strength in the end. Well, Aryna Sabalenka, great to have her back as the defending champion. Boy, oh boy, has she been in some sparkling form at this tournament. Just lost 16 games, and it was a strong year as well in 2023 for Aryna Sabalenka, winning 3 tournaments, one of those being the Australian Open, and her form has been irresistible this year so far. Finals of Brisbane and just dropping 16 games so far.
Yeah, this is where it started for Aryna Sabalenka last season, and she in the final here had to turn around the match after losing the first set to Rybakina, and she's had a much easier road getting to this stage, of course, in that quarterfinal match, getting through the 9th seed Krejcikova.
Well, I'll be fascinated, Chandler, just to see how Coco Gauff has recovered, responded after. That was a dramatic match in the quarterfinals. Her 3-set win over Margaret. It was a roller coaster ride of emotions.
It was a difficult match all the way around. Difficult for Gauff to get rhythm. She made a lot of unforced errors. The forehand was really an Achilles heel. The serve wasn't great, but in spite of that, Josh, she managed to win the match, and that's one of the most special things I think about Coco Gauff's game. Her incredible ability to fight, to compete, and her will to win. And that oftentimes is what you need against a player like Aryna Sabalenka, who also has such a big game.
Well, they did play in the finals of the US Open, and what a battle it was, as we see Aryna Sabalenka's team have been constant. They've been so supportive over the last several seasons, and that's the match, Chander. It is the US Open final, and after that first set we probably thought that Sabalenka was going to go on and win that US Open final, but great resilience shown from Coco Gauff. Yeah,
and for Gauff, the ability to play in different ways. She decided, I'm just going to put on my running shoes, not let a ball get past me, and she was able to turn that match around. Not many players could play an offensive brand of tennis and then decide they can play a defensive brand of tennis. That's exactly what Coco Gauff can do. It's the dimensions to her game.
Yeah, wonderful ability to adapt, to self-coach, to problem solve out on court. Well, it's a wonderful evening courtside.
And
we might just check in with Laura Robson courtside. Laura, it's a big night tonight. I'm sure there's a lot of emotion courtside.
Yeah, there is. I just love the energy when both players walked out, and so many people already in their seats well before the start time, because they know this is really the blockbuster of the 2 semi-finals. It's the one that we hoped for when the draw came out. So amazing to see these two make it to this stage of the tournament.
All right, players just about set here. It's been a little wet today in Melbourne.
First set.
Also this afternoon, so the roof is closed and the players are set. It's women's semi-finals action, and Aryna Sabalenka to serve.